And then YouTube, straight into this one. It's only a short clip anyway. This is US and Iran failed to agree peace deal. Talks break down, leaving ceasefire on brink. I mean, I try to not make predictions these days, but I did kind of anticipate this, to be honest. You know, I always thought that the ceasefire being called was high in the sky material. Can't wait to see what Vance has to say.
We have been at it now for 21 hours, and we've had a number of substantive discussions with the Iranians. That's the good news. The bad news is that we have not reached an agreement, and I think that's bad news for Iran much more than it's bad news for the United States of America. So we go back to the United States having not come to an agreement.
And I kind of think this is now on both sides. I mean, Iran's obviously going to suffer more, yeah, sure, especially in the short term. The fact that the USA has been able to completely bully Iran, given Iran a significant amount of leverage with any other perceivable allies, it might want to try and foster forward from this. Not a W for the USA by any means, even if they are not taking an L quite yet.
We've made very clear what our red lines are, what things we're willing to accommodate them on, and what things we're not willing to accommodate them on. And we've made that as clear as we possibly could, and they have chosen not to accept our terms. Well, I
mean, like I say, I try not to make predictions, but I kind of never thought that they would anyway, at least at this stage anyway. I'm not going to say they're never going to agree to a peace deal, but at this stage, I would find it highly unlikely.
We'll go into all the details because I don't want to negotiate in public after we've negotiated for 21 hours in private. But the simple fact is that we need to see an affirmative commitment that they will not seek a nuclear weapon, and they will not seek the tools that would enable them to quickly achieve a nuclear weapon.
Promises mean nothing in geo. Anyway, I don't know why. I mean, I do. I don't know why that these are the parameters that they have to set for negotiation, but it's also vexing because they don't really mean anything. Back out. I mean, especially you've just shown that you can neutralize one of their leaders. Any leader at any time can reset the agenda for a nation.
And that is the core goal of the President of the United States, and that's what we've tried to achieve.
I mean, in some way, I feel a bit bad, guilty of this myself, and I've been in previous employment with employers, and I've asked them questions about, like, say, how secure my job is, or something like that, and I've just believed what they've told me. I mean, how naive was that? Well, you have to apply that in this same situation when there's a lot more at stake on sides.
Achieve a nuclear weapon. That is the core goal of the President of the United States, and that's what we've tried to achieve through these negotiations. Again, their nuclear program, such as it is, the enrichment facilities that they had before, they've been destroyed. But the simple question is, do we see a fundamental commitment of will for the Iranians not to develop a nuclear weapon, not just now, not just...
No, you're not going to get it now. We're not going to get it. Well, again, I don't want to make predictions, but I would find it very unlikely the Iranians will change their perspective on obtaining nuclear weapons, especially when, Russia and the USA just showing that you can, if you want, when got nuke. Still in Ukraine, getting a bit embarrassed there themselves. The USA subduing Venezuela, and I'll try and next to subdue Iran in pretty much short succession. You can obviously see it from Iran State's point of view that they would want their own deterrent to stop this from happening. Ukraine had nuclear weapons. Very unlikely that Russia would have ever have tried what they have done. My opinion, anyway. Maybe you would disagree with that. You can comments below.
2 years from now, but for the long term, we haven't seen that yet. We hope that we will. We just could not get to a situation where the Iranians were willing to accept our terms. I think that we were quite flexible. We were quite accommodating. The president told.
Yeah, just on that one thing where you're not going to get it. I don't know. Seems a bit childish to me.
Told us you need to come here in good faith and make your best effort to get a deal. We did that, and unfortunately,
I will say I do like JD Vance. I've never really found any reason to like him or anything, and I know that it's not all incumbent upon him. He's speech at the moment, and I do broadly, I'm still obviously sympathetic to the UK. don't agree with all their foreign policy stuff, and especially these wars they keep trying to drag us into. I'm actually quite happy that for once our Prime Minister has made a sensible decision. Yeah, you guys are all mad at it because we won't follow you in. Well, sorry. Don't see why we have to keep following you into every conflict, especially when you don't recognise the contribution that we play. But I'll not get off on a tangent.
We weren't able to make any headway. Yeah, obviously we were talking to the president consistently. I don't know how many times we talked to him, a half dozen times, a dozen times over the past 21 hours. We obviously also talked to Admiral Cooper, to Pete, to Marco, to the entire national security team. We talked to Scott Bessent a number of times. So look, we were constantly in communication with the team because we were negotiating in good faith. And we leave here with a very simple proposal, a method of understanding that is our final and best offer.
Well, I wanted to foresee anything changing anytime soon. Maybe see America. I don't want to make predictions, but kind of. I would have thought that the USA would most likely try and pursue a similar method to deal with the regime, like what Israel did with in Hezbollah and whatnot. I'm not saying I want them to do that or whatever, not passing any sort of predictions or favor of anything. What I, in my own head, kind of think would happen. But this isn't a prediction. Like I say, I'm not trying to make predictions. Not a prophet or anything. I believe that, going to predict the future. As a Christian now, I do think prophets have mandate to be able to predict future events. And I'm not a prophet. That's not what God has planned for me. But yeah, that's pretty much. I think the thoughts on the Iran situation in the minute. I don't know. I'm going to keep this one quite short. Otherwise, I might just on a bit of a tangent, and I'll see you in the next video. And if you liked this video, make sure you give me a subscribe and share it with your friends. Try and grow as fast as possible. Especially if you're one of my Christian brothers as well, you'll be able to follow me on my journey. I've just recently Christ. I going to church in September, and then I went through the transformation that Ezekiel mentioned, being given a new heart of flesh and filled with the Holy Spirit. That time, nice time for it to happen as well, I must say. And we'll see what happens moving forward from this point forward. Next one.